Hey guys, welcome to Sahaana's study table, where you can become a genius. This is the place we all study together. So, today we're going to be doing another Math Olympiad practice problem set. But today it's going to be really fun. And I've already gotten to part 12, so I'm really happy. So, first question. Mary multiplies her number by 3 and gets 60. What would she have got if she divided her number by 5? Okay, let's work together on this. So, first of all, before we do all this division stuff, we need to figure out what her number is. In order to do that, since she's multiplying by 3 to get 60, we're going to do the opposite operation of multiplication. And do you know what that is? Yeah. It's division. The opposite of multiplication is division, and the opposite of addition is subtraction, and vice versa. So, just a thing to remember. But back to the problem. If we divide 60 by 3, we get 20. So we know her number is 20. But before we go on to the next step, let's just take a pause and check if we're correct so far. So we know her number is 20, and if we multiply this by 3, we should get 60. So, do we get that? 20 times 3? Yeah, it seems correct to me so far. Now, the next step is pretty simple. Now that we know what her number is, all we have to do is divide it by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. And guess what? We're done with the first problem. She would have gotten 4 if she divided her number by 5. So, that's our answer. Yay! If 20% of a number is 12, what is 40% of that number? Let's work together on this one again. So, we know that 20% is 1/5. And in order to figure out the number, we have to let's do the first step. 1/5 times n is 12. We know that. That's the percentage formula. And then I brought 1/5 to the other side, which becomes, since it's division on the other side, it's the opposite operation again, which is multiplication. So n equals 12 times 5. So now we know what n is. We just have to multiply 12 and 5, which is 60. So n equals 60. Now they're asking what 40% of that number is. And 40% as a simplified fraction. Simplified fractions are way easier to work with than bigger fractions, just saying. 40% is 2/5 as a simplified fraction. Now all we have to do is multiply 2/5 by our number to get what percentage of 60, 40%, wait, I said that wrong. What 40% of 60 is. So 2/5 times 60 is 24. So now we know that 24 is 40% of 60. And we got the answer. That was pretty simple, wasn't it? So that's our answer. Number 24. Yay! Next question. Yep, 40% of that number is 24. Okay, what is the hypotenuse of the right triangle shown below? Okay, so this is a right triangle because it has one 90-degree angle. But before we just go on with the explaining, I just want to clarify some things. We're going to keep the 3 centimeter side as side A, the 4 centimeter side as side B, and the hypotenuse here, well, which I like to call the hippopotamus. I don't know, it just sounds really similar and funny. I like to remember it that way. But the hypotenuse, or what I like to call hippopotamus or hippo, is the long side right here, the longest side, which is usually across from the right triangle. So the hypotenuse is the longest side, which we're going to keep as side C here. This might seem like really complicated, but it's pretty simple when you get to know it. It sounds complicated though. we're going to use the Pythagorean theorem. That's what this little trick is called. This makes a lot of things simpler, honestly. Okay, the formula for the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Don't freak out. It's pretty self-explanatory when we explain it. That doesn't make sense, does it? But whatever. It will make sense soon. So we know that A is 3 centimeters, B is 4 centimeters, and C is this hypotenuse. So what we're going to first do is A squared plus B squared is C squared. Now it should So A is 3. So now what we're going to do is figure out A squared first, which is 3 squared, which is 9. So we know A squared is 9. Next, we're supposed to find B squared, which is 4 squared, and that's 4 into 4, 16. Now we have A squared and B squared, and if we add that, we get 25. But 25 is not our final answer just yet. 25 is C squared, or hypotenuse into hypotenuse, or C into C. So in order to find just the hypotenuse, or hippo, we have to find the square root of 25. So we can just find side C and not C into C. So the square root of 25 is 5. And that would be C squared, which is, that won't be C squared. That would be our hypotenuse length. And that's our final answer. The hypotenuse of the right triangle is 5 centimeters. Okay? Good job. We're done. But before I finish off, I would just like to say that you need to remember a few things here. The formula, of course you need to remember the formula. A squared plus B squared is C squared. And it doesn't matter if this is side A or this is side A. One of them has to be side A, one of them has to be side B. But side C must be the longest side and the hypotenuse, which is diagonal to the right angle. So remember that. And one more thing. After you find the sum of A squared and B squared, you must find the square root of your sum, or else you'll end up getting hippo into hippo or C into C. You need to, if they're asking for the hypotenuse, you need to find the square root of the final sum. But sometimes if it's like you end up getting C squared as 2, well, 2 is really hard to find the square root of. So you can just write square root of 2. So that's all I would like to say for this one. Remember, you have to find the square root at the end to get the real hypotenuse. Mr. Hippo. Okay, anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.